Hi, Steve Piper here. You've heard me talk about the way that I created a substantial income as an indie musician was by making music that fit in my genre and by making a connection with my fans. And this connection is via an email list. Now, but what does it mean to create music that fits in your genre? It has to be right at home next to the hit songs that are playing in your genre right now. And there are different guidelines for every genre, different general guidelines for every genre. And I'll give you just 3 basic examples. And they won't be exhaustive, they won't be comprehensive, but they will be a great starting point to help you start thinking about how to approach your musical genre. First, let's talk about alternative music. Alternative music has vocals that are up front, has vocals that are really, really close to perfect. It has instrumentation that is really, really close to perfect. The arrangements are typically sparse, meaning each instrument has its own frequency niche. So there's not a lot of noise between instruments competing in the mix. Everything sounds very clear. There are often some unconventional chord progressions, but in the main, 1-4-5 with a minor 6 is the typical alternative chord progression. It's worked for thousands of hits. It continues to work. The production value for alternative music is extremely high, almost as high as for pop music. And today's pop music is as close as it comes to perfect in terms of production. And alternative is very, very high. So let's contrast that with the rock genre. The rock genre has lyrics that are not necessarily as upfront. They're not necessarily sung perfectly in tune. The timing is much looser, both for the instrumentation and for the vocals in modern rock music. It still has that anti-authoritarian, that kind of revolutionary vibe to it, and that's reflected in the way that the music doesn't adhere to the confines of a lockdown grid and a perfectly in pitch, perfectly in tune production. Now the production value is still very high, but it's not. The songs are not perfect, and that's part of the message. That's part of the vibe. That's part of the feel. That's part of what makes a song a rock song and not an alternative song. Okay, so that's alternative and rock. And let's talk about today's hard rock genre. It's characterized by distorted guitars. The distortion is very tightly controlled. The guitars are nicely compressed in a way that there's not a lot of sharp edges attacking your ears. The timing is perfect. The production value in modern hard rock music is extremely high. It is just as high as the production value in alternative. The vocals are emotive. It's usually talking about addiction and broken relationships. It's kind of the universal theme. Loss and broken relationships, kind of like country and western music. You lose your dog, your beer spills, etc. Only much more angsty in the hard rock genre. And those vocals are delivered with a distorted rock vocal style. But again, the production value is very, very high. So that's the starting point when you start to think about what genre do I really fall in if you're one of those musicians who's serious about building a fan base. All right, I'm Steve Piper. We'll talk to you next time.